How's everyone doing on this very foggy, rainy New York evening? I hope you're well. Welcome back to the Adventures of Kid Lucky. So tonight we're going to read Chapter 1, Operation Destiny. And we left off yesterday. It had just turned into January 1942, and the U.S. is at war with Germany and Japan. So, give me a second. All right, here we go. The Adventures of Kid Lucky, Chapter 1, Operation Destiny. We was on our way home from Angelo's Bakery down on Mulberry Street when the evening paper headline ran, "Newsflash! I want you for U.S. Army. Cheer up, men. Birds may also be drafted." Holy G.I. Joe! They're gonna call us up? Says here, they're putting together a crack team of birds to be used as messengers. Hot diggity dog! America's heroes will storm the beaches! Sickety boom! Take back the Vatican! Furlough the Führer! Hit it, boys! Oh, when the Führer says we is the master race, we'll heil, heil, right into Führer's face. Not to love the Führer is a great disgrace, so we'll heil, heil, right into Führer's face. Let's give him the Bronx cheer. We was fired up. Says here, when asked about a pigeon spy network, Uncle Sam says we got 'em, we train 'em, but how we train 'em is a military secret. That's all we can say. All the way to Midway. Victory lap! When do we do our bit? Think we might end up in the South Pacific? They ain't making sushi out of me. Says here, when suggested that carrier pigeons were an unnecessary military expense. Unnecessary? Roll up your flaps. Give me that. Get lost. An unnecessary expense. The Signal Corps responded, the cost to feed a pigeon is 6 cents a week. They is, and I quote, a penny a day hero. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... We ain't gonna cost Uncle Sam a dime. Learn to count. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. Take that, old Hitler. We ain't gonna be using no gat. How many times I gotta tell you that? We ain't got no fingers. How you gonna shoot a rifle? Then I'll throw a pineapple. What, with your head? Nah, my feet. Kick the can. Score! Speaking of feet, show me your dogs. They ain't taking no pigeons with Bumblefoot. Says here, they're only taking racers, offering $5 a pop. Latrine rumors. It says so right here, page 3. Let me see that. The U.S. Army needs your pigeons and will offer $5 a bird. Donations welcomed. All unions, clubs, and private breeders expected to donate their birds to the cause? Only homing pigeons of racing variety will be accepted. Gripes my cookies! Only homing pigeons of racing variety will be accepted? What kind are we? The wrong kind, that's what. We're homing pigeons. All pigeons are homing pigeons. But we ain't no racers. Now ain't that a kicker? Out of the game before we even get to play. Get a load of this. Chesterfield Grover says he will donate all 10 of his championship birds for the war effort, including their offspring. The respective parties arrive on Thursday at Fort Worth, New Jersey Army Base. A warm welcome to our newest recruits. Gripes my middle kidney. We ain't worth the paper we poop on, let alone $5. Bad pennies. They're all purebred racing pigeons, champion offspring, the champs themselves. We can't compete with that. We're just ordinary pigeons. They wouldn't turn us away, would they? We have just as much right as any racer. I don't know about yous guys, but I ain't sitting on the sidelines letting some other guy do our fighting. What do you propose we do, Paulie? Fake our birth certificates? Why not? I know a guy. I bet he could do it. We're just as good as the next guy. Maybe you ain't. You got a beef with me, Paulie? Yeah, your nose is too big. You won the top, bird brain. Who you calling stupid, stupid? You meatball. I weren't the one eating a plate full of spaghetti down in Little Italy, only it was string. It was covered in red sauce. You would have dug in too. Kitchen guys laughing at us like we was garbage. Maybe we are. Tommy Rot, pigeon twaddle, bumble-footed bird brains, not good enough for the U.S. Army Corps. Where's that can? I feel like kicking something. Knock it off with the trash talk. Listen to yous putting yourself down because we ain't racers. It's what everyone thinks. Who was we kidding? You might as well be fighting for the enemy with that kind of talk. And that's just what old Hitler wants, to see us fighting ourselves. Divide and conquer. That's just what Hitler does. Pits one group against another. Well, I got a news flash for you. We don't need to go to Germany to be in the war. We live it every day. Every time someone tells us to get lost and we take it out on each other. Well, we ain't gonna do that no more, see? Whether we're fighting the war in Germany or here at home, it don't matter. We ain't gonna let Hitler nor anyone else tell us we ain't invited to the party. That's a lovely speech. You read what it said, races only. There ain't nothing we can do about it. Fellas, I got an invite to the party of life with all our names on it. Are we gonna give up that easily? There's gotta be a way. I'm in. I'd like to see the army slam the door in our faces. They'll have to throw us out on our backsides. Put a penny in your pocket. There's a gat with my name on it. How about you, Ernie? My mind is a sunbeam of positivity. Let's enlist! They said they've only taken races. Not that again. There's no way around it. Then we'll go directly at it, huh? You heard me. We're gonna fly over to New Jersey and knock on the front door. But they're gonna know we ain't racers. How they gonna tell? Some clerk sitting behind a desk. He ain't gonna know the difference. There'll be hundreds of birds. We'll just be a few more left behind by their handlers awaiting instructions. I'm in. Me too. Me too. Go get Davies and the rest. Operation Destiny commences in 15 minutes. Meet me on the top of the Woolworth building. So that's what we did. We flew over to New Jersey and enlisted in the Army Signal Corps. There were thousands of birds in coops all over the base. We picked out a few empty spots and waited till it was our turn. We was a little nervous during the physical, where they take your measurements and all that, but the leatherneck doing the measurement didn't notice the subtle differences only a breeder could detect. Then we was told there'd be a test. What if it was mathematics or something like that? Turns out it was a flying test. You had to fly at least 60 miles without getting tired. 60 miles? Is that all? We laughed ourselves into hysterics on account of our nervousness. 60 miles! Piece of cake. We were in. We was going to train with the Army paratroopers. 54,000 of us made jumps over the course of the war. Ever hear of Thunderbird? 10 jumps! Wow! That could be us. Our training officer was this guy, Colonel Clifford Portray, but we called him George, even though that wasn't his name. Hey, Georgie! He got a kick out of that. Georgie was an expert pigeoneer and a very important person in my life. God rest his soul. I took off my hat and bowed my head in a moment of silence in memory of a great man. Now, Georgie bred pigeons, and he had a lot of friends who bred pigeons. So we was in the ranks with these racers who were quite the specimens. Me and my boys was missing a feather here or there, not the best-looking guys in the bunch. Oh, pardon me, I did not mean to exclude the ladies, for there were quite a lot of female recruits, some of the best there was. Georgie knew we weren't no racers, but he never told nobody. Didn't matter to old Georgie who you were or where you come from. As long as you could fly, that's all that mattered. Respect, love, kindness. Are these words you associate with pigeons? How about friendship? Georgie gave us all of that. He didn't see our limitations. He saw our possibilities. He threw out the rule book. Gone were the days of starving pigeons to reinforce their homing abilities. Georgie believed in tapping into one's potential and creating a space for the individual to thrive. Not just thrive, excel. Individual. No one ever called me that before. So Georgie had it all figured out. A new approach to teach racing pigeons new tricks. Only those new tricks were old tricks to us. Those racers had to learn to fly home over long distances. We was already doing that. Them racers had to learn to fly from high altitude to low altitude while keeping their bearings. So Georgie takes us to the top of the Rockefeller Center and has us take a dive. We was already doing that off the top of the Empire State. What's the big deal? The big deal is that when you go from high to low, you got a loft. In training, when you hit the sidewalk, your loft would be there. But since we never had no fixed lofts, we just kept flying around. Georgie didn't know what to make of us, so we explained it to him. We might make a home for ourselves on a ledge or on a rooftop in a box, a paper bag, whatever we could find, only to have it destroyed the next day. We constantly move from place to place. Yeah, we go back to the same spot, but if the spot is no longer congenial, we gotta get a new spot. This befuddled Georgie that inspired him. Movable lofts! He invents a way to train pigeons to loft from place to place, while the loft is transported on the back of a jeep behind enemy lines. Inspirational! Another word one does not usually associate with pigeons. Do you know that pigeons don't fly at night? That's news to me. I mean, how you gonna win a war if you don't fly at night? Do you think they only bomb during the daytime? So those races had to learn to fly at night. But we was already doing that because we live in New York, the city that never sleeps. You get beaten off a ledge with a broomstick at any hour of the day or night. That's just how it is. Georgie recognized that we had special talents on account of our upbringing and wanted to give us a special assignment, which I will detail momentarily. But before that, we had to complete basic training and learn the ins and outs of the U.S. Army Signal Corps Carrier Pigeon Program. Most of basic training centered around building strength and endurance, wing power, stamina, direction. Georgie was a real curfew keeper when it came to that. We was doing 120 miles a day, then 200 miles, then 200 miles over water. Pigeons don't fly over water, or mountains for that matter. We ain't gulls. But we had to do it, and we did. To everyone's surprise, we did. Georgie took a lot of flack for his training methods. When some coffee cooler complained to Georgie that he was wasting Uncle Sam's dime training a bunch of knuckleheads to fly over water, he just smiled and said, "Do you know that a pigeon can distinguish the difference between an ocean, a raindrop, and an ice cube? Instinctive particle differentiation comes in handy when they engage with variants of water while on a mission. That shut 'em up. Whoop, whoop!" No one believed in us like he did. So we're 2 months into training, and one evening after a 250-mile run, Georgie tells us to rest up, for at 0600 we start a 24-hour leg. No rest stops. We all bellyached, even the racers. 24 hours non-stop. Is he talking to us from an aeroplane? Hey, Georgie, what's with the all-you-can-eat buffet? Yeah, Georgie, slow the row. Like fun, Georgie. Buck kiss, sir. Not a chance. Not if I know it. Raspberries. That rate's a hee-haw, sir. What a laugh, meaning no disrespect, sir. Georgie just smiled. Gives it that knowing look. Oh, geez, here it comes. The unlimited potential speech. Take it away, Georgie. That's what you are. That's what you have. Unlimited possibility. Say you are assigned to an aircraft carrier in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, days away from land, when enemy fire takes out half the fleet, dead in the water, radio communication cut off. You are their only hope for an SOS. Or say you are out in the field, carried in a sling under some mud-eater's arm, when the entire infantry gets trapped behind enemy lines with no radio communication. They release you to get help, only you hit headwind, fog, and heavy rain en route. And it takes all your strength to fly 10 miles, let alone 250. And the nearest loft is in Dover, England, meaning you have to fly across the channel. Do you give up your stamina because the distance is too far? No, sir! Do you give up your sense of direction because of the fog? No, sir! Or your courage to the seas because everyone knows that pigeons do not fly over water? No, sir! Or your endurance when the sun sets because pigeons cannot fly at night? No, sir! What are we? Unlimited, sir! What are we? Unlimited, sir! What are we? Rhyme rockers, sir! What are we? Pepper shakers, sir! What are we for? Oh, sir! Put that in your mess kit. Yes, sir! A couple of weeks later, Georgie calls us together for a briefing. Pretty soon, you will be shipped out on assignment. Before you go, I want you to have a thorough understanding of what you are getting yourselves into. I want you to know that the work of a carrier pigeon requires courage, loyalty, and endurance. It is not enough to be the fastest. You have to be self-reliant. You have to keep your wits. You cannot get flustered. You will go places you never dreamed, in ways unimaginable. You will ride in a jeep, board a ship, fly in an airplane, be carried on a man's back or a war dog's shoulders. Wherever the Army, Navy, or Marines go, you go. I was once quoted in the New York Times as saying that pigeons can win battles. I believe that to be true, and I hope you know it to be true. Your service is undeniably of value, and you will save countless lives over the course of the war. I hope that the war does not hit home for you, and that you return from the war unscathed, but you must know that the likelihood of that is very low. There will be times of boredom. There will be times of excitement. There will be times of great danger to the men you are serving. You may find your own life in danger. You may find that you are not up for the task, but you keep going. Please know that whatever you need, it will be there for you. We have some of the best handlers looking out for you, both military grade and patriotic citizens who will give their best to care for you throughout your service. That being said, let's talk about what you can expect. You're going to be on active duty overseas. Some of you will work for the Army, others of you will work for our allies. You will be assigned to a home loft with a military specialist and a squadron or infantry. You might stay in one area, or you might get moved around. It all depends on how the war goes and where you are needed. So let's say you get assigned to a paratrooper. You will be escorted to about 35,000 feet, where you'll be secured in a little pouch on the front of the soldier's vest. Then the two of you will bail out, landing behind enemy lines. You will remain in his vest pocket, or he might reposition you on his back or under his arm until he needs you to relay information and you fly back to base. Or you will be strapped to the back of a bomber, 2 pigeons with 4 crewmen. If you are with the U.S. crew, you might be strapped in the open or in a paper bag with a slit in it. If you are with the RAF, they will put you in a wooden box with air holes. In one scenario, you are along for the ride. The crew completes their mission with no engagement with anti-aircraft, and you return to your loft a little chilled, but no worse for wear. Or you are sitting in the back of a bomber in a paper bag at 35,000 feet with negative 45-degree temperatures when enemy fire. As the plane goes down, they drop the bag into the slipstream at 360 miles per hour. The bag rips open, and now you are on a rescue mission. Let's hope for a home run. The enemy knows who you are. They will fire at you. Let's say you are assigned to field work. You will either parachute in, or infantry personnel will carry you on his back in a wicker basket. There might be 6 to 10 of you in that basket. In the field, you are assigned to 2 home lofts, one in Allied territory and one behind enemy lines. The one in the field is your basket. The one in Allied territories is a larger trailer that houses 50 pigeons. They are both movable lofts. But don't worry about that because you are well trained. You are some of the best trained carrier pigeons in this war. Most carrier work is a one-way operation from a dropped or fixed location to home base. Home base is a military loft on land or at sea, like an aircraft carrier or a civilian loft. The civilian keepers are all part of the underground intelligence. When you are heading home with intel after you stick, that's the industry term for arrive home, a bell rings, and the pigeoneer collects your message and takes appropriate action. Once home, you are fed, rested, stitched up, and rehabilitated if needed, then sent back out. Your intel will be messages scrolled on paper and put into little canisters attached to your legs. Those messages are not written in code. There's no need to be. That's how reliable carrier pigeons are. Know that you are in a life and death race against time. Your life and the lives of the soldiers entrusted to you. Do your job, do what I trained you to do, and you will be, what do you kids say? Hipper dipper. You are all aces in my book. Wherever you will be, I will be thinking of you. I thank you again and again for your courageous spirits and your willingness to spread your wings beyond what you believed yourselves capable. Good luck to all of you. What a guy. I think I got something in my eye. Me too, me too. So that's it. Basic training is curtains. Heidi ho, and away we go. Who'd have thunk it? We're on me now. Sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. May I have a word with all of you? Sure, Georgie. Hey, guys, get over here. What's up? What's going on? As you know, I've been well aware of your unique abilities, and after some consideration, I think the best utilization of your creative talents is in assisting England's air ministry. There is a shortage of carrier pigeons in England, and the Army is donating pigeons to fill out the ranks of their carrier pigeon corps. You will not be flying one-way missions. You will be part of an elite group flying two-way missions. You will continue your training in England in espionage. I think you will be well suited for the job. Now, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. Think about it and let me know. Who needs to think about it? I'm in. Me too, me too. All right, I'll let headquarters know and you will receive new orders. I cannot disclose to you where you will be going or even how you will get there. But once there, you will be taken care of by a Colonel C. Upright. That's C for Charles, but you can call him Harry. He's a personal friend of mine. You'll be in good hands. Best of luck to you. Thank you, sir. Holy mackerel! Hot diggity dog! The London League! Us? Who'da thunk it? Holy moly, I can't believe my ears. That's because ye ain't got ears. Go peddle your paper. Merciful jaybird, I gotta stand up. You are standing up. Then I gotta sit down. The London League. Well, all right. Later that evening, we was too excited to get our beauty sleep. Can you believe we're on our way to London? Just yesterday we was picking garbage out of a can. Now we're gonna be spooks. Like Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. You mean the other guy? What other guy? Victor Laszlo. Bogey was a cat Sam Jammer. He sure was doll dizzy over Ingrid Bergman. Who wouldn't be? The glad lad always gets his Jane. Think that'll be the case with us? Who's got time for dolls? We got a war to win. We'll be in the same loft with him, shut in a basket with him, strapped to the back of a bomber with him. I think I gotta stand up. You are, straight up. Then I gotta lie down. I ain't never roosted with no dame before. You're no good time Charlie. You ain't no hunk of heartbreak neither. I got in on account of my good looks. That cop's the laugh. Dummy up. You dummy up, dope, fathead. No one's gonna believe yous two are highly trained spooks. Says you. Take a powder. You take a powder. Gripes my cookies. Can't a guy get a little shut-eye? Drive it in the hangar, all of yous. Tell me you think carrier pigeons are heroes worthy of your admiration. I didn't think so. Oh, that's thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow they will fly the North Atlantic route to London, England. I just want to say that the U.S. Army Signal Corps is a real thing, and Colonel Clifford Poitras was a real person, and he really did throw out the rule book. He changed how pigeons were treated in the war. They did used to starve them in order to control their behaviors, and he was like the pigeon whisperer, saying, okay, we're going to treat them with love, we're going to treat them with kindness, and we're going to treat them with respect. So I read articles where these are actually words that he used, and he did see pigeons as being highly intelligent and lovable, and he did see them as his friends. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, the story continues. Thanks for stopping by.